What is up, guys? Welcome to the second podcast. My name is Smartalecplays, and hopefully most of you will know me from my Twitch, which is, again, Smartalecplays. But here on my YouTube channel, I like to do things a little bit differently. I like to do podcasts, of course, and I also like to do some pranks. So, again, we are going back at it because of the supports on the last podcast. And alongside me today, again, is Mr. Duonanon. And in this one, we are going to be discussing kind of our gaming history. I know in the last podcast we talked about what kind of led us to streaming and what our plans are moving forward. But this time, you know what? Let's talk about our gaming. I know a lot of you within my streams have asked, like, Alec, what games do you play? What do you like to play? What has been your history? But before we get to me, let's start off with Duonanon here, man. So what was your first game? What are you, what is your favorite game of all time? And what, are you currently gaming, on, I guess, and whatnot?
The earliest memory I think I have of video games is probably Kingdom Hearts 1.
Ooh, good one.
I don't really like Kingdom Hearts that much. Not anymore. There's something not super intuitive about the one-button combat system. I'm not that big a fan of it.
Is it still like that? 'Cause I have never played Kingdom Hearts.
The most recent one. Oh, okay. I know that at least the first two is you kind of have to cycle through your options, but you only have the one confirm button for attack and stuff like that. And
definitely not like that.
At least if I remember correctly, it's like that. I wasn't not a big fan of that looking back on it, but I was 6 at the time, so I didn't care.
Right.
Other than that, it was Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that, and then Ocarina of Time eventually, and Super Mario 64, stuff like that. Spyro the Dragon, the first one.
Wow.
That was good. I enjoyed that a lot. I still play that actually occasionally.
Who doesn't? Yeah. I mean, I have only owned a PS1 and a PS2 growing up. I played Spyro, of course, but I have not played it since. And that and Ratchet and Clank. I miss those games a ton. I'm not a Sony fanboy per se, but some of those titles, dude, going back on the original consoles and just being able to play them is amazing.
I mean, yeah, I recently bought a PSP.
Wow. Wait, which one? The Vita or just normal PSP?
A PSP.
Oh, wow.
Not a Vita, a PSP. The 1000, the fat model, the first one they released.
The brick.
It was about $50, $40, something like that, I think, for it, and it came with a game. But I have Spyro on it, the first Spyro game. I have Parappa the Rappa, some other PS1 games like Castlevania. What is it? Symphony of the Night, I think, is the PS1 game. A couple other ones I can't remember, and then I've got it loaded up with Game Boy games, SNES games, all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty good workhorse for retro games, actually. Kind of a nice little throwback.
And is it true with PSPs? Correct me if I'm wrong. Are you able to kind of I guess mod them in some way, shape, or form? Or am I thinking the wrong thing?
I'm playing Game Boy games on it, so
yeah. I was gonna ask. I was like, okay, are we still talking about the PSP or something else? So you can mod it to play. No.
Yeah,
wow.
It's very easily moddable because it's very much just you put a software installer on an SD card, put it in, and that's about it.
It's kind of like homebrewing, like a Wii or something.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. But yeah, so I've been able to play a bunch of older games, some that I have played before, some that I haven't. Like Minish Cap, for example, which is something that I'd always enjoyed. I think I have 2 copies of the Game Boy Advance Minish Cap, which is one of seemingly the least played Zeldas out of the modern era. Nobody talks about Minish Cap, and it's got to be one of my favorite Zeldas just of all time.
Wow.
I don't actually like 2D Zeldas that much, generally speaking, but Minish Cap is very special to me. I just love that game. So, I mean, it's just really good for playing older, simpler games.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Minish Cap. Nobody knows about The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. It's just nobody knows. Yeah,
every time you talk or hear about someone saying, "Oh, what are your favorite Zelda games?" You hear Wind Waker,
Twilight Princess,
even
Ocarina of Time,
or some in Breath of the Wild now.
Yeah.
But I've never even heard of that title. Wow.
I don't think it's my favorite Zelda game. It's my favorite 2D Zelda. It was a Capcom game.
Wait, the Zelda game was a Capcom game?
Yeah. I mean, it was licensed by Nintendo, but it was published by Capcom. or developed or something like that.
I'm gonna need to look this up after.
Like
this.
if you when you start it, you get the Capcom logo. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
And then you go into the game, and it's got really, really, really nice sprite work actually. I really don't think they ever used the sprites in it in anything else except maybe Four Swords.
That's actually amazing. I did not know this, that Capcom had that history.
Yeah, it's actually no. Capcom worked on all the Four Swords stuff, I believe, because Minish Cap is where the Four Swords stuff started. Because that's kind of like the originator of the mechanics, and then they started building. Then they made Four Swords, which was built off that concept, which is also, I think, you could get it with Minish Cap, like on the same cartridge, I believe. And then Four Sword Adventures came out later, which is the multiplayer one for GameCube, which you needed like the GBA adapters and stuff to to have multiple players, whatever. But,
well, I think we can all agree though that Link's crossbow training for the Wii is the best Zelda game. All right,
sleeper classic.
Definitely. Not even a sleeper. Everyone knows.
Oh, yeah,
no, you don't even need to mention on your list because everyone knows it's so good.
Right. Okay.
So good. But okay. So, well, it sounds like you've had like a lot of Sony and a lot of like Nintendo influences, like in an early age.
Primarily, we owned an Xbox at one time, but I think all we had for it we had Pure, which was like an ATV racing game.
Okay.
Like some Kinect games, and then Halo, which I wasn't allowed to play at the time. So it was like, okay, well, we own it, we didn't own it, but we have it, but
right. Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like as a Nintendo streamer, which I am, I come from a very different background from a lot of people because typically when I'm in stream, people ask me, okay, what Zelda games have you played? And my answer is always only Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, okay. I'm trying to think of other like really popular. Oh yeah, like what Mario Karts have you played? And my one is Mario Kart 8 because my background is with Sega. We had a Sega Saturn growing up, and man, do I love it. On there, I had my first game ever was Mega Man, actually, and it was Mega Man 8: The Anniversary Collection. Fantastic game, and introduced me to the Mega Man series. I still like Mega Man to this day because of it. And then we also had like some more like indie spin-offs for it, like RoboPit, which is you create like little robots and they fight each other, really fun, and Virtua Fighter, which I wish was more popular. I know they made some games for it until like the 360 and PS3 era, and then it kind of dwindled out. So sadly, my like gaming experience growing up was not really like a bunch of Nintendo stuff. It was mostly Sega, and then towards like middle school, like almost like high school era, I got into things like Pokemon, Smash, of course. But that was basically it. Like and also Call of Duty. Like those three things are kind of what defined my gaming throughout my like middle school to high school realm. And now only recently did I develop like going solely Nintendo. Like my Switch is the first console for Nintendo that I've actually ever owned that's fully mine. And I realized I've missed a lot. There's not a day in chat or like even with Duonanon here that I'm not told to play the Zelda games or like the past Mario Karts. Like I feel bad. Like a lot of me wishes like I could have experienced those games right where like when they're at their height of popularity. But I mean, the facts are that I just didn't grow up with that.
Yeah, you don't really know gaming like growing up with Zelda until you have. When I was maybe 11 or something, I distinctly remember I didn't own Twilight Princess. I had never played Twilight Princess. I went on GameFAQs and I found the Twilight Princess walkthrough and I printed it out and I stapled it together and I read it. I read the walkthrough for a game I never owned and had never played. I'd never even seen like gameplay of it, but I read the walkthrough because it was entertaining to me. It was that's cool. Oh, this is so cool.
This is truly an epic gamer moment.
It was so weird. It's just kind of surreal.
Well, I mean, not weird. I mean, I understand if you didn't have it. I mean, you kind of found it in other avenues, I guess.
And eventually, I borrowed the game from my next door neighbor, and I played all the way through it, and I loved the game. And then I got to the final boss, which was Ganondorf, and I got through like the first 2 stages, and it crashed, and I hadn't saved in like an hour, and I was like, you know what? That's it. I beat the game. I beat the final boss. I was close enough. I'm done.
Well, my big thing is...
That's why I've never beat Twilight Princess.
Because I want to try the other Zelda games. I really do. But my big thing is that I'm a little afraid of, and I think I've mentioned this before to some of y'all, is that Breath of the Wild is so vastly different than a lot of your previous Zeldas. And I love like the Bethesda games, like the RPG adventure styles. I know Skyrim's not really an RPG, but bear with me.
It's an RPG.
Ish. It's not your typical.
There's different kinds of RPGs. It's an RPG.
But when coming to the Zelda with Breath of the Wild, I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But then I realized, I was like, oh, you can like grind for armor, like you can get certain things and weapons, like get money to get your armor and stuff. It had elements that I was not expecting from Zelda per se, and I'm worried if I go back and start playing them that it's gonna be like a whole new atmosphere. And I'm wondering, since it's not quite like what I'm used to, that I'm either gonna like really love it or am I gonna really dislike it. Like with me with game, there's no in between.
Well, the major truth, of course, is that it is an entirely different atmosphere, which is why I don't like Breath of the Wild. I really, really don't like Breath of the Wild.
Should I not say that hurts me because I've only played one Zelda game? Because I love Breath of the Wild. I love that game. It's amazing.
Now listen, if they had released Breath of the Wild and just called it Breath of the Wild, and all the characters were completely not Zelda related, I probably would look at it and say, yeah, I kind of enjoyed that game. But because they said Zelda Breath of the Wild, I don't like the game because I went in thinking Zelda game, and I came out thinking Skyrim game, and not a.
But what's wrong with that? Skyrim's a great game.
There's not a problem with that, but I was promised a Zelda game, and I did not receive a Zelda game, and that's why I'm upset because it's a very, very beautifully done game, especially aesthetically speaking. The music, the visuals, everything is fantastically done, but there is no Zelda.
I don't see the issue.
No Zelda. Okay.
I'm not saying I'm biased, but I don't see the issue here.
I don't see a problem.
Okay, now the biggest question is this then. We know we've been promised Breath of the Wild 2. It is up and coming. If they were to, let's say, do what they did in Breath of the Wild, which I'm wondering why would they stop? I mean, Breath of the Wild was still like critically acclaimed. It's still a really great game. Will they go down the route, do you think, of appeasing their OGs like you, when you played Zelda, like you said, growing up? Or will they continue in the fashion they're doing and appease people like me who come with a Skyrim background or Bethesda, type of deal, and that's what we like. That's what we're used to get like to introduce like this newer generation of gamers. Because let's be honest, not every single person that played Breath of the Wild is like you. Like they didn't have any prior Zelda experience. Like this is like they bought their Switch and they got Zelda, kind of like me, and that's what they know Zelda to be. Should they do should they switch it around now that we've kind of like gotten introduced to that, or should they like go back to the original thing?
I don't. So of course we know essentially nothing about this game.
Absolutely.
They have revealed almost nothing, but I've seen a lot of speculation just regarding the trailer on its own that was like painting it as almost people were taking it kind of in a Majora's Mask direction. Mm-hmm. Things I would like to see is I would like to see a very tight focused story as opposed to Breath of the Wild, which was really open and airy and there wasn't really a story to speak of.
Right.
I mean, there literally isn't. You can beat the game in less than like 13 minutes or something like that because if you just fly straight to the castle, there's nothing stopping you from just beating the final boss. You don't have to do some weird glitch or something to make yourself be able to fight the boss. It's just you're allowed to whenever you want.
Yeah, but my argument is who would actually do that? No,
well, okay,
no one does that though.
I understand, but the point is that the story doesn't matter in Breath of the Wild.
But does it need to? I understand. Again, I know previous Zeldas had to, but we have to look at it in this new lens. It doesn't need it. I'm
not saying a Zelda always has to, but I'm saying that game didn't have a story. And what I'm hoping for, based on the fact that the atmosphere that they painted in this new trailer, whatever they released a while back, since it was all very dark, the atmosphere, I'm hoping what that means is we get a serious, focused story, rather than Breath of the Wild, which was much more focused on just letting you do what you want. Breath of the Wild is very open. It's very go
do your own thing.
Here's your sandbox. Go do something, please. I'm not babysitting you. Figure it out.
Right.
I hope the next one is focused, serious, and has a strong story element. And this is going to be really, really, really weird for me to suggest, probably. And I feel like people aren't even going to get what I'm talking about because I don't even remember the title of this game. I think it might be Eco. There was a game produced. The guy who made Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay.
made a game before this, which was about like a boy and a girl. They had to escape like this evil castle or something like that. It was kind of the concept. Based on the fact that we saw Zelda and Link exploring in this, I kind of hope we get kind of a dynamic between them. And I think that would be really, really strengthened by a story. Because if you don't have a story, just having Zelda follow you around is pointless. So it would just be she'd probably just disappear like after a cutscene or something. You're like, oh, we gotta go save Zelda again.
Okay.
I think it'd be interesting to have a game where you and Zelda are, you know, you're traveling companions. You're just going around doing stuff together, and it kind of shows their relationship throughout all of this. I think that'd be very interesting.
You're definitely weird on this. I will say that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guarantee you, nobody is asking for the eco of Zelda games, but I am. I want that.
I don't know how that would work. I mean, I know again, my scope for Zelda is so limited, and I want Breath of the Wild to stay like Breath of the Wild. I want it to be what it is in Breath of the Wild. I want it always to be that. I personally, when I play RPGs or something like Zelda, I don't really care about the story because when I came into it, I don't know what the story is. I know there's a bunch of lore, there's a bunch of timelines.
Okay, well, the thing is, they're all it's like.
I don't know if I even need Zelda to. It sounds weird, but like we don't need Zelda as a companion. Let Link be his own adventure. I like that.
Okay,
idea.
we don't need her as a companion, but we've never had her as a companion. Is what I'm saying. Like,
maybe for a reason though. That would wouldn't that kind of destroy the whole point? Isn't
well,
Zelda
no,
like rescue?
It's tropey. It's the trope, you know. It's always go save the princess or something.
Yeah.
Occasionally, the princess doesn't need saving, but it's not like she's your traveling companion. She's just like, you know, the kingdom needs saving. Ignore me. I'm here for you if you need me. That's like Link to the Past. Okay, it's like, okay, Zelda's in a church. She's safe. Whatever. Leave her alone. Let's go save Hyrule. But Zelda isn't. Each story is self-contained. The lore of the other ones don't matter.
I thought there was timelines though or something.
There is.
Okay.
There's a timeline, but the timeline literally means absolutely nothing. They have contradicted the timeline multiple times. It doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It's literally just a way to visualize how things happen because essentially, because when you have a game like Wind Waker where the entire continent is submerged underwater, something freaky happened that obviously didn't happen somewhere else. So timelines are kind of based around that.
Gotcha.
I think, but each Zelda story is just a Zelda story. The only one I think that actually really relies on something before it, and it really doesn't to that extent, is Majora's Mask. Okay. And that's just, it only relies on the previous one to give you a motivation in that game, which doesn't matter because the character's already motivated in the first cutscene, and that's how it starts.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I didn't expect this podcast to turn to us discussing completely Zelda.
Zelda podcast.
But let's bring it back around, though. I guess talk more about general games, because I guess I opened up a bad can of worms. So, okay, if you had to pick, and this is going to be a tough question for me, because while you're talking a little bit, I was thinking like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this. If you had to pick 3 favorite series, what would they be, your top 3? It's really tough for me, too.
And it's series, too.
And then I'll make it even harder. After you pick your 3 favorite series, you'll pick the favorite game within that series.
After I get a series, the favorite game will not be super hard, probably. Zelda might be hard if I choose that. There's a couple ones that are, like, in contention. See, now you got a head start on me. You were thinking about this. I wasn't.
Okay, when I said, I just merely thought of the question.
Oh, okay, I see.
Also, wait, one second. Also, guys, for those of you who are watching, in the chat, or I'm sorry, in the comments, I'm used to doing Twitch, in the comments below, type what your favorite series is along with your favorite games. Like, I'm really curious to hear what you guys also have down as well. Maybe we match, bro. I want to hear. So, anyway, sorry, continue.
Ratchet and Clank.
Great series. Ooh.
Probably.
I'm gonna judge you based on your favorite game for it.
I'd probably say Tools of Destruction.
Okay.
I think that would probably be my favorite one. The new one is trash.
Not Going Commando? Didn't like Going Commando?
No, I love Going Commando. Okay. I adore Going Commando. I really like Tools of Destruction. I just think it has some really fun characters. Not that Going Commando doesn't. But Going Commando feels a lot more serious than Tools of Destruction. I mean, as serious as Ratchet Clank.
I was going to say, because Ratchet Clank has a lot of levity.
But you have characters like Angela Cross, which is decidedly a very serious character. Mm-hmm. But like Tools of Destruction, you have characters like Captain Slag and Slag on a stick at the end, or maybe the very beginning of Quest for Booty or something. But regardless,
Yeah.
you get the idea. I think once they got into the Future series, they really, really played into the cartoony
aspect of it. Yeah.
So it became a lot more. It became a lot more kind of cartoony.
Yeah.
So I think I would say Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction.
Good. That's your number one though. Number one overall is Ratchet and Clank.
No, in no particular.
Okay,
order.
I was gonna say okay.
In no particular order, Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction. I'm just trying to do this as they come to mind.
Ratchet and Clank's a great one. I cannot dispute that.
This is really hard.
Yeah, I know.
I guess I have to say Zelda because it was like so much of my childhood, and I've played so many of them. There are maybe 4 Zelda games, maybe 2 mainline Zelda games I haven't played.
Gotcha.
Which would be
Bow Training.
Link Between Worlds. Yeah, my favorite mainline game. Link Between Worlds and Zelda 2. So probably Zelda would be one of them, and then that's a hard sell between Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess for my favorite. Those are... I'd honestly even put Skyward Sword up there, and everybody's gonna hate me for it because nobody likes Skyward Sword like I do. But I bought the special edition, so I have to like it.
Spend money, you gotta like it.
Yeah, I spent $70 on that, man. I got a golden Wii remote.
Loki, that's sick, actually.
Yeah, it's got like the crest on it and everything. It's
wow.
Cool. It's rad. Nobody's allowed to touch my golden.
Bring
Wii
that
remote.
to parties. You can flex on everyone.
Yeah, people come to my house. You can touch any Wii remote, not the golden one. I don't care if we only have 4, and like you have 4 people.
Pardon me, guys. It would appear we got a follow. Sorry. Yeah, that happened. Sorry. I believe you guys are going to hear that later in the podcast. I apologize. Let's go continue.
Regardless, I guess if I had to choose one of them, I would probably say... I guess I've got to say Twilight Princess.
Okay. All right.
Which is weird for me because I normally wouldn't say Twilight Princess is like among my favorites. I think Twilight Princess is overrated, but I still think it might be my favorite.
Someday I'll play the Zelda games and I can criticize you on your list. All right, number 3.
Okay, a third series. Man,
I know so many to choose from. So many.
Hard.
I actually have all mine ready.
Why don't you go with yours? I'll think more about mine while you do that.
Again, this is also in no particular order, just like duos. But first off, we got Call of Duty. Listen, dudes, I was one of those 12-year-olds, screaming at the mic growing up. I think personally with Call of Duty, we've gone down a very, shall we say, interesting path with all like the futuristic like fighting and warfare. I really wish, like, it seems like we have, because I have not played the current Modern Warfare. I like it when we had boots in the ground and everything else type of deal. And I especially liked it in the Black Ops series. Black Ops 2 was great. Black Ops 3 was iffy. Black Ops 4 we're going to go to. So I think my all-time favorite Call of Duty is definitely Black Ops 1. I feel like the story was great. The campaign was phenomenal. I loved that campaign. Played it to death. The zombies were great. The whole vibe, like the atmosphere that Black Ops 1 set, which is phenomenal. And I feel like it has not ever been like redone or like emulated correctly in any future Call of Duty game. So at number 1, we got Call of Duty, and my favorite game for that series is definitely Black Ops 1. My second favorite series of all time is Smash. No big surprise. Despite me not really playing the earlier games of like Smash for the 64 or Melee for the GameCube, Brawl was my first. And I know objectively a lot of you guys do not like Brawl. I've heard that a lot. But for me, it holds the most memories. Again, I know there's tripping in Brawl and all that other weird stuff, but my favorite Smash game. This is actually a really tough one because I have a ton of good memories with 64 at my grandparents' house, playing it all the time. Melee, I have basically no memories. And I know there's a lot of Melee purists, guys. I'm sorry, but I have literally almost no memories with it. And hence,
Project M purist.
Oh my gosh.
The only good Smash game was made by people who don't make Smash.
This is a tough one though. This is actually really a tough one. I think I might get hate for this, but I think my favorite game is Smash Ultimate. I know. Listen, I know it is vastly different. I literally have played every Smash game leading up to this. I played a ton of Brawl. Brawl is still my most played. I played a lot of Smash 4. Smash Ultimate, though, I mean, you cannot debate with how many characters there are. It's absolutely amazing that we have this big of a selection. I love all the I love most of the DLC. Hero, get out of here. I know mechanics are different, but I don't know if because like I'm actually like really playing with good people now or something else. But Smash Ultimate looks so crisp. I love the gameplay. I love all the characters. I love the stages. I love the music. Smash Ultimate is definitely my favorite Smash game.
Get a load of this guy. This guy doesn't wave dash. Get a load of that. Oh.
Sorry, Smash Ultimate it takes the cake for me. And the number 3, definitely Pokemon. It's my favorite series. I have a lot of good memories with that. And I feel like this time I will not receive hate for my choice. To all of you guys out there that are just joining the Pokemon series that don't know the great things of Gens 1, 2, and 3, and 4, because I feel like those first 4 were absolutely the best. Like, there's no debate for me. You need to go back and play them. You cannot. I have too many people on stream come up and saying, "Oh, Sun and Moon were my first ever Pokemon games," and I'm sitting there like a boomer, thinking like, "How on earth, have you played Sun and Moon as your first Pokemon game?" Like, to hear that hurts me. Or if you come up and say to me like, "Oh, I've played Gen 1," I'm like, "Oh, like what? Like Pokemon Let's Go Eevee." If you ever come in my stream and say your first Gen 1 experience is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, I will ask you to leave and go play either Red or Blue, or at least Fire Red and Leaf Green. But with that being said, my favorite, I was going to go based upon Gen, because that's usually what I go for. Ooh, this is a tough one. This is actually a really tough one. I have to go with Pokemon Crystal, because the thing that really sells it for me is this. Fire Red and Leaf Green would have taken it if it had not been for Crystal's whole, like, clock system, where it's actually like a watch battery and everything else, where, like, you know, it goes to evening, and there are different Pokemon appear because of that. And on top of that, you get to go to both regions, like Kanto and Johto at that point in time. Love that. And also, they added, like, within that region, you also had the gym leaders, too. Like, you got to do that. Like, that was such a cool little thing. And I think the final thing that makes me really, really love Crystal is the fact that they animated the Pokemon. When they first appeared on screen, they moved a little bit. It wasn't much, you know, it was very, very small. But Fire Red and Leaf Green and also the other Gen 3 games just didn't have that. And it was kind of sad. Or, wait, I don't know if Emerald had it. Did Emerald have Pokemon move? Like when they first came out into the battle?
I feel like it did.
It may have. Other than Emerald, the other ones didn't. And I love that with Crystal. I think Crystal was a phenomenal game for its time. And like it was great. I mean, you got to literally have like the best of both worlds by having that. So that is definitely my top 3 series and my top 3 games. If I had a working Pokemon Crystal, I'd be so happy. I mean, I know you can emulate it, but I'm a weird dude. I like to have the actual game in hand. So.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely prefer that.
And you got to play the original thing. I mean, playing on a PC is just not the same vibe.
I mean,
yeah, you get to play it,
it's not exactly the same. But that's why I bought a PSP instead of emulating games on my phone, is so I can actually hold like a console.
I'm right there with you, man. And the sad thing for purists like us is the fact that they cost so much money.
$40.
$40?
Did you do your 3?
Yeah, I did my 3.
Okay.
So
I guess I'll go. So before I give my final answer, I want to ask a question.
Uh-oh.
Do I categorize all of Soulsborne as one thing, or is it Dark Souls is a series, Bloodborne is a series, and Sekiro is a series?
That's a rough one. Because what I do with COD, I guess, is the same thing.
Okay.
You got to select one within the series.
Because
technically, I could say Black Ops, the whole saga.
If I say Soulsborne is the whole series, so Dark Souls.
No,
Bloodborne,
you could split it.
Okay, so if Soulsborne is the whole series, my favorite is Bloodborne.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
If it's just Dark Souls, my favorite is the third one, which is probably not the most popular opinion, but
where do you get your games from? Why do you like the games that no one else likes?
What do you mean? Everybody loves Dark Souls.
Yeah, but like you're like every single one just has to be prefaced with like, oh, and I know this is gonna like not many people like this one. Like same as Zelda, you know?
It's just because everybody, or not everybody, but there seem to be a lot of Dark Souls 1 purists, right? They don't like 3 as much because 3 is a lot faster, but it's kind of telling that I like Bloodborne a lot because Bloodborne is essentially Dark Souls if it was really, really fast.
Okay.
Comparatively to Dark Souls. It's still pretty slow, but so Dark Souls 3 is the closest to Bloodborne, which is why I probably like it the most.
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not that unpopular an opinion. And my Zelda opinion is a very popular opinion. An opinion I think is too popular. for the record.
Okay. I'm glad you clarified that. But okay, so
And Tools of Destruction, nobody's gonna argue. That's a great game.
I said I couldn't argue that
That's
one.
a great game.
Ratchet and Clank is just a great series. If I had played more of them, I probably would have had my list. But
I've played all of them.
rip me not having a Sony console since
I've played
PS2.
the first 3, so Ratchet and Clank, Going Commando, Up Your Arsenal, the Future Series.
I love the Ratchet and Clank game
The
names.
Future Series, Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty, Crack in Time. I played Into the Nexus, which was released after that. I played All for One, Full Frontal Assault,
I think you did.
Secret Agent Clank, Size Matters, and the movie one. So I think that's all of them.
Yeah, you've played way more than I have.
I think that's all of them. I think I've successfully played every single Ratchet and Clank
That's
game.
impressive.
I haven't beaten all of them, but I've played all of them.
I'm assuming you got the collection for PS3 or something.
No.
Oh wow. Wow.
No, I don't own Up Your Arsenal. That one I played a friend's copy, but I own Going Commando and the first one. I own all of the Future trilogy on discs.
Right.
I own Full Frontal Assault on a disc. I own Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank discs.
That's impressive. But all right, guys. Well, we will wrap it up there. I hope you guys did enjoy hearing us talk about Zelda for like nearly all of it. But no, seriously, guys. Again, those are all our favorite series plus their games. And if you guys did enjoy, again, my name is Smartalecplays. I stream on Twitch every day of the week except Monday and Friday. So you want to check that out. My link will be in the description. And again, if you enjoy this, please show the support by leaving a like because every like does matter. And of course, drop a subarino if you really want to keep me going and doing podcasts. And also, Duonanon also has his own YouTube channel. That will also be in the link down below. But I don't know, Duo, if you have anything else to say or if you want to close this out. But
yeah, sometimes I like to pretend I'm a YouTuber, so numbers are important.
He's facing Jake Paul in the next fight.
Oh,
or is it Logan Paul? I don't know these guys. Is it Jake Paul?
I think Jake is the one that fights.
I have no idea. I don't keep up with them.
I think Logan's the one who filmed a dead guy.
Well, guess what? Now we have Now we have a topic for next podcast.
Which of the Paul brothers did which thing?
But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. We will see you on episode 3. And also, in addition to the thing I told you guys, comment below. Comment also what you want us to talk about next, because we are always open to ideas. You guys do not know how long it took for us to figure out a good idea to talk about. So again, guys, hope you enjoyed. For me, Smartalecplays.
Huh?
And Duonanon, we'll catch you later. See ya.